Are you tired of losing at 1-2 or 1-3 live? After 11 years of playing live poker and coaching dozens of low-stakes players, I've realized that all you need to take your win rate from negative to at least 5 big blinds per hour is one simple skill. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that skill is and give you an easy framework for how you can use it so that you finally start winning in your games. Okay, so what is this mysterious skill that lets you crush the low stakes? To show you, let's imagine your car displays a warning light on the dashboard. You don't really know what it is, and actually the car is still running fine. So you just keep driving, and then after driving for a few more miles, the car eventually breaks down and you'll end up with a hefty bill for towing and repairing the car. If you had only gone to the mechanic straight away, the car could have been repaired for a lot less money and you wouldn't have had all the agony. And that's exactly the same in poker. If you ignore the warning signs where your opponent is clearly telling you that he has you beat, you'll be handed a hefty bill at the end of the hand. And that's the main skill you need to master. Those warning signs are really easy to spot if you know what to look for. So now I'm going to show you the simple framework for the 4 spots where recreational players basically tell you they've got you beat. If you recognize them and manage to fold your hand in these spots, that's usually all you have to do to have a positive win rate at the live low stakes. The first situation where recreational players tell you that you're beat is the most obvious one, and yet so many players ignore it, like in this example. Hero raises pocket aces and gets called by both players in the blinds. The flop comes Queen 9-4 with 2 hearts. Hero c-bets, the small blind folds and the big blind calls. The turn is the ace of hearts, giving Hero top set but also bringing in the flush. Hero continues betting, but now the big blind check raises. Let's just think for a moment what Villain's range is here. Can he have a hand like Queen 9, pocket 9s or pocket 4s? Well, we can't rule it out, but I think this is extremely unlikely. On such a draw-heavy flop, I would have expected him to check-raise the flop rather than waiting for the flush to come in and then raise. So we can almost rule out that he raises the turn with anything that's not a flush or a bluff. But recreational players totally under-bluff when the pot gets big and we show aggression. So I'm inclined to say that he almost always has a flush. Now, I'm not saying that Hero should fold in this spot, because if the board pairs, we will win the hand and we might even extract some value if that happens. But we already know that we're behind. And if the river doesn't pair the board, this is where Hero has to find a fold if Villain continues putting money into the middle. Because, and this is the first situation where opponents tell you that you don't have the best hand. When they check raise on the turn or on the river, they almost always have you beat. In this example, Hero called the turn. The river was a brick, Villain bet again, but Hero just couldn't fold his top set and lost a big pot against the flush. Another way to quickly improve your win rate is by knowing how to beat every player at the table. I've put together a cheat sheet on how to exploit every player type, from the loose player who doesn't fold to the aggressive maniac who puts pressure on you constantly. You can get it for free by clicking the link in the description below or by scanning this QR code. But the next warning light is in some ways even more telling than the first one, because both recreational players and good winning players reveal they have you beat when they do this. So here's an example of this. Villain raises pre-flop from early position and we call with pocket 9s in the big blind. The flop comes 7-5 deuce with 2 diamonds. Villain c-bets, we call. The turn is another deuce. Villain bets again, this time he chooses a bigger size. We still have an overpair, so we call once again. The river is an 8. We still have an overpair, but he now bets slightly more than the pot. So let's do a bit of hand reading here. Would he take this line with a value hand that we beat? I highly doubt it. Even if he had a hand like ace-8 of diamonds that backed into top pair, I don't see him overbet the river. So if he wouldn't do this with a weaker value hand, he'll either have a strong value hand or a bluff. What would be his bluffs here? Well, missed diamonds are a possibility or just too high cards, but as I said earlier, most players don't bluff enough at the live low stakes. And except for the very best players or complete maniacs, almost nobody triple barrel bluffs. So, if you ever see someone triple barrel, you can safely fold every single bluff catcher, because triple barreling is one of the clearest warning signs that you could ever see on your poker dashboard. Yes, once in a blue moon you will get bluffed, but the money you save all the other times by folding will more than make up for the one time you get bluffed. Triple barrels won't happen too often, but multi-way pots are everywhere at the live low stakes. So, knowing what the flashing warning lights are in multi-way pots can be the difference between being a long-term loser and leaving the card room regularly with huge stacks like my students. So, here is an example of a multi-way hand where flashing warning lights are very obvious. Hero has King Jack in a 5-way pot and flops top pair. The small blind comes out betting half pot, the low jack calls, and now the hijack raises to 125. The small blind's bet doesn't necessarily mean that he has a monster, but after another player calls, the hijack's raise means business. In multi-way pots, almost all players, whether they are good or bad, will be pretty honest. If someone has a big hand, they might slow play for a bit, but then they'll get greedy and start piling money in. If someone has nothing, yes, maybe they will take a stab on the flop, but they will rarely put in a lot of money. So, what does it tell us if someone raises another player's bet in a multi-way pot? They usually have a very strong hand. The same is true when they bet the flop and then bet the turn again. Sometimes they will do it with a draw or a top pair, but most of the time they will have at least 2 pair. Basically, whenever a player shows serious aggression in a multi-way pot, it is them telling you that they have a very strong hand. And how do you know the difference between serious aggression and just a silly stab? Well, 2 things. 1, they bet twice in 2 subsequent streets. So either they bet the flop and the turn, or the turn and the river. And 2, they raise someone else's bet. The later in a hand they do that, the stronger the hand tends to be. But even a raise on the flop is usually very strong. All these examples happened on the flop, but recreational players will even tell you pre-flop that you're beat. And this is one that many players miss, because they ignored his clearest of all warning lights. Like a student of mine did when he was dealt pocket jacks. He was delighted to see an early position raise, so he had an easy decision to 3-bet. The hand folded back to the original raiser, who now 4-bet without even thinking about it. My student felt uncomfortable, but thought that his hand was too good to fold, so he called. By the end of the hand, my student got stacked on a low board because, of course, villain had pocket aces. My student then asked me if he should have just called the raise rather than 3-betting. But that question is rooted in fear. No, I think it is great to 3-bet jacks pre-flop to isolate a weak recreational player. That's definitely not the mistake here. The mistake is to call the 4-bet. Most recreational players will not 4-bet with ace-king or even queens. And they definitely won't 4-bet ace-4 suited or 10-9 suited. So what do they 4-bet then? Well, aces, and in some cases maybe kings. I would even fold queens in this spot against a typical player at 1-2 or 1-3. So if you get 4-bet by such a player, they are really telling you that you're beat. But there are some games, especially in card rooms across the US, where you don't even have to get 4-bet to know that you're beat. A big 3-bet from a passive player who normally limps into most pots comes with exactly the same warning as the 4-bet in our example. If I have a hand like ace-jack suited, I will snap fold it against a 3-bet from such a player, because he will only do this with a big pocket pair, ace-king and maybe ace-queen. But either way, I will be miles behind if I call. You shouldn't fold against a 3-bet from every player type though, because some players will have more bluffs than value hands when they raise you. To know how to exploit each of these players, you can grab my free cheat sheet Exploit Every Player Type. You can get it by clicking the link in the description below or scanning this QR code. But in general, recognizing warning signs and folding in the right spots will definitely stabilize your win rate. But if you want to truly crush the live low stakes, you need to have a clear winning system for every street. If you want to learn such a simple step-by-step system, watch this video next.